Hello, everybody. I wanted to talk to you this afternoon about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is about joining Tupperware. Now, at the moment, Tupperware is getting a lot of bad press. And so I thought it was probably time for me to talk about Tupperware and how it has really changed my life, but how it could still change yours. So let's consider all the negativity that is happening around Tupperware at the moment. The first, obviously, is that the share price is tumbling. And in fact, I looked at it again this morning and it had tumbled once again. And so you might think that when I look at that and I see that the price is tumbling again, that it might make me nervous. Well, perhaps it does make me nervous on one level, but on another level, it doesn't worry me over much because at the end of the day, in my day-to-day business at the moment, nothing has changed. And I have been taught, because of personal development training that we receive at our organization, Les Diamants at Tupperware, that there are certain things you can control and certain things that you can't control. And I'm just going to dip into my lid drawer here because there's a really good way for me to show that to you. So, in life, we have two circles. One is called the circle of influence, and one is called the circle of concern. And the great thing about these two circles is that they can easily be explained with our life experiences. So let's talk about the circle of influence. The circle of influence is something that I can directly influence. I can directly influence what we have for dinner tonight, what movies we're going to watch, what schools my kids went to. All of those things I have a direct influence on. I especially have a direct influence on my own mind, right? So I can decide what to think, when to think it, all those things. Nobody else has any influence over my mind. Of things that I have direct influence on. How hard am I going to work? How efficiently am I going to work? What time am I going to get up in the morning? All those things, that is my direct influence. Then we have the circle of concern. And the circle of concern is things that I actually have no control over. Like, I can't control the share price of Tupperware, right? I can't control the prices that the supermarkets decide to charge for the food in the store. I can't control what the weather is going to be. I can't control how they construct roadways and railways and all that sort of thing. So there are many things that I have no control of, and that is the circle of concern. And the trouble is that most of us, we live in this area all the time. And I've been so fortunate in my MLM at Tupperware Les Diamants to get a lot of personal training. And a lot of the personal training, we have a leader who holds these up regularly. Circle of influence, circle of concern. And whenever she talks and whenever we hear things about things that are in the circle of concern, we don't want to spend a lot of time there. I mean, how many people do you know? They check the weather before the day has arrived and they say, oh no, I can't go skiing because it's going to be too cold, or I can't, I'm not going to send the kids to school tomorrow because they say that something is going to happen. So when you're ruled by things that are happening in your circle of concern, you're not living your life. You are allowing other people to influence how you live. When you live in the circle of influence, now you have control. Now you are the person who's making the decisions. So, for example, people will say to me, oh, well, the weather's going to be much better next week. And so I'm going to do whatever it is I wanted to do next week. And my view is if I have something I really want to do, I'm going to do it when I want to do it. I'm not going to wait for the weather to be better because it may never get better. I can't control that. And I always remember that, as a Tupperware lady, I used to do a lot of Tupperware parties. And I would have maybe a party booked for Sunday. And on me and say, oh, Melanie, I'm going to cancel my party on Sunday because I've heard it's going to snow. And I don't want my people to have to be involved in traveling in the snow. Now, I'm the first person to say, let's not do this today in 1 hour's time because the weather is too bad. But I would never call a hostess 5 days ahead and say, oh, by the way, I'm going to cancel my party on Sunday because I've heard it might snow. I want to live in the moment. I want to live in my circle of influence. I don't want what is happening outside of me to influence what I do. So this is what I think about when I think about what is going on with Tupperware at the moment. And if you're watching, come on and say hello and tell me where you're watching from. So what do I think about what's happening in the moment? Sure, I'm not happy that Tupperware's share prices are dropped and that even the CEO has been heard, perhaps out of context, to say, I'm not sure whether Tupperware will be able to survive this. That doesn't make me happy, but does it influence me? Can I influence the outcome of that? Absolutely not. Can I worry about it and spend all my time in here and say, oh, I don't know what's going to happen? Sure, I could do that, but how's that going to help me? How's that going to help my life? So I want my life to be good. I want to enjoy every moment of it. And so I want to stay in this area, in my circle of influence. So I know that at Tupperware for me at the moment, nothing has changed. I'm still earning good money. I'm still getting amazing personal development training. I'm still helping people to save time, save money, to eat more healthily, and be a solution to pollution. So none of those things have anything to do with what is happening with Tupperware Corporate. And I was talking to my husband this morning, and he used to be the head of a big pharmaceutical company in Australia. And he was telling me that they had an announcement which said, your factory is going to shut down in 6 months. Hi, Olga. Your factory is going to shut down in 6 months. And but you actually need to recruit some more people to help you with the process of shutting it down. So you might think that that's impossible. How do you get people to join you when you know that your business is going to shut down? Well, people who live in the present money now. They want to have personal development. They want to have things that are good for them now. They're not worried about 6 months' time. They want their stuff now. So what my husband said he did was when he was recruiting people, he told them straight up, now this factory, it's due to shut down in 6 months' time. He knew at the back of his mind that probably it was going to be 6, 8 months or a year, but he was upfront with everybody and he said, this factory is going to shut down in 6 months' time, but I promise you, When you join today, you will start earning money today. When you join today, you will start getting training on various bits of machinery, on various processes that exist in the company. We will also be continuing our personal development program. So, what he said was, you recruit people for the present. You don't recruit people for the future. And I believe that is what I have to offer anybody out there who is thinking that I don't want to join Tupperware at the moment because I know I've heard that they're folding. That one, we have received no information about that. In fact, we received the contrary information because our programs are still really good. Our recruiting programs are still really good. And within my business, the Les Diamants organization, our training programs are still really good. So anybody who thinks that maybe they would like to make extra money at the moment, maybe they have goals that they can't see how are they going to achieve them this year, because getting a part-time job often means minimum wage. Often it means a lot of hours for very little pay. Whereas they can join Tupperware and in not very much time at all, start to make hundreds of dollars. And that is down to you. That is down to you saying, I am in my circle of influence. I'm not listening to what's happening in my circle of concern. So, anybody that's listening, please come on and join me and let me know who you are, where you are watching from, and let's get into some discussion about, well, maybe we could talk about the influence and the concern, or maybe we could talk about a lot of the amazing things that are on offer for anybody at the moment who decides they want. And there's something else going on at the moment, which is circle of concern, right? So I've been watching a series on TV, which is called How to Be Rich. It's a Netflix series. So far, I have really enjoyed it. Now, I think it's episode 5, I was watching yesterday. And episode 5 actually says a lot of bad things about MLM companies. And, he has every right to make his own decision about MLM companies. Hello, Christine. He has every right to say anything he wants about MLM companies. However, has he ever been in one? Has he ever really studied them? Or is he listening to all the information that's coming from the circle of concern, not from the circle of influence? And regarding the actual example on the show, the young lady involved has joined an MLM that has definitely different values to the MLM that I am part of. Being locked into a lease on a car, that is not a good thing. And at Tupperware, I drive a Cadillac XT4, which Tupperware pay for. They pay the insurance. And sure, I have to reach a certain level should I want to keep the car, which I would like to keep the car. If in the event I did not reach that level, Tupperware actually give you 3 months where they allow you to pay the difference if you want, or you can say straight away, that's it, I don't want the car anymore, I don't want any financial burden, and they come and collect the car. Okay, is it sad to lose your car? Of course it is, but you're not locked into anything. There's no signing a contract to say, I will continue to pay the lease on this car for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. So when you choose your MLM, sure, you need to make sure that you understand the advantages and disadvantages. But if I was to tell you that I've been in this MLM now for 16 years, and since 2016, which is now this is 7th year since then. Since 2016, my income has been a 6-figure income every year. And what I would say when people say MLMs don't work is it really depends, one, what MLM, two, what organization, and three, what is your personal development? What is your involvement with the MLM? Are you really doing everything that has suggested you do to make your business work? Now, of course, the market goes up and down. And what I will say is I had a peak in about 2013, and I dropped back down again. Then, but I never went right back to the beginning. I never went right back to not earning money at all. And then I rose, and in 2016, I had a big peak. The first year I ever hit over $100,000. And it was like, you have this feeling like, whoa, it's happening. I'm having all this success. But we call our business an N business, where you go up and down, then you go up and down, and then you go up and down. And what happens in our business, every time you go up a bit further. And every time you go down, you don't go down as much as you did the first time or the second time. And that is exactly what has happened to me. Because after 2016, 2017 was great. 2018, I started to fall. By the end of 2019, I was thinking, I'm going to give this up. Although I was still earning $3,000 a month at that point. And when I joined Tupperware, I was earning nothing. So that's a big difference, nothing to 3,000. And then 2020 comes, I was about to hand in my resignation, and COVID hit. And then my business exploded again, much higher than before. And in 2021, my salary, my income from Tupperware was $175,000. So when people say to me, MLMs don't work, I'm like, well, I actually have proof to the contrary of that. And sure, at the moment, my business is in a decline. It is. In 2022, my income was only 130,000. And then in 2023, it's still declining. However, I have every confidence that I'm just coming down to that bottom of that N, and then it's going to go up again. So if you are in an MLM yourself at the moment, please write in the comments now, which MLM are you with? And I know that I have a couple of ladies who've written in my comments. We are both with Tupperware, and both of them have been with Tupperware for probably, I'm going to say Olga's probably been with Tupperware for maybe 4 years, maybe even more. I'm not sure. Perhaps she will tell us. So let me ask you a couple of the questions and see whether anybody is happy to answer them for me. So if you had a choice and somebody said to you, I can guarantee that you will make this money, how much money would you like to make per month that would make a difference to you? How much money would you like to make per month? Would you like to make just enough money to pay for the kids' activities? Maybe you'd like just enough money to start to pay off your credit card bills for real. Maybe you would like to make enough money to pay for a trip, so that when the summer comes round, instead of using your credit card and then having to get the money back for your credit card payment, what would you do? So what would you really like to do with respect to the amount of money that you would like to earn in a month that would make a difference for you? And the other question I would ask you, if you're watching right now, is how many jobs do you currently have? How many jobs do you currently have? So, and don't include 4,000 a month and be full time in Tupperware. Well, 4,000 a month is not a huge ask at Tupperware. It is something that is definitely possible. What was the question? I got confused myself. Oh yeah, how many jobs do you currently have? And you can include your MLM in that if you want to. So maybe say 2 jobs plus MLM, or maybe just 2 jobs or 1 job, or maybe you don't have a job at the moment, but you're looking for a way to make some money so that you can have those holidays that you don't pay on a credit card. So one of my team members actually called by a little bit earlier, and she was coming to pick up some rewards and things that she had got from me. And I was talking to her, and she was explaining to me that she has a big issue at the moment, and it's all to do with inheritance and proving that her mom was married to somebody before. It all sounds very complicated. And the thing is that the girl who was telling me the story, she says, I'm having to pay for all the lawyers at the moment to do that. And so I said to her, well, why don't you increase your activity at Tupperware so that you can get more money? But the problem for her is that she's already doing 2 other jobs. And in her mind, and I really, really understand this, in her mind, she says, I've 2 jobs with a guaranteed income. Whereas, should I ramp up what I'm doing at Tupperware, I have got no guarantees. And that's true. So that does mean when you're in Tupperware, you have to stay in this circle of influence, because only you can influence how much you're going to make at Tupperware, how much effort you're going to put in, how much time. And so those things are scary if you're used to a 9 to 5 job where you turn up, you work, you go home. Maybe you hate it, but it's guaranteed as far as you're concerned. But when I hear stories like that, I'm sad for the people, because being able to make your own decisions about those things and being flexible can make a big, big difference to what you're doing. Okay, so are you, yes, I guess this is another question I want you to ask yourselves. Are you happy doing what you're doing at the moment? Do you love your job? Do you wake up excited every morning and say, oh, I'm going to have a great day today? Does your job change every day, or are you doing the same thing over and over? And is your job paying you enough? Are you able to do everything you want to do? Maybe you love your job, but you just don't feel they're paying you your value. Do you feel valued at your job? And I'm asking all these questions because all of these things are things to consider when you think that you might join an MLM. When you consider, and I can't talk about other MLMs because although I did participate in an MLM when I lived in Australia, I worked for a company that sold books. They were kids' books, and it's called Dorling Kindersley. And I loved it because, in the same way I love Tupperware, they had a mission. And our mission at Tupperware is to help people to save time, safely, and be a solution to pollution. I can get behind that vision, that mission. I'm able to do my work knowing that all the time that is what I'm trying to do. In the other MLM I worked for, their mission, I can't remember the exact words, was to bring to life books and literature for young people. And because I'm passionate about reading and education, I was able to get behind that MLM and do that too. Perhaps if I was in an MLM where I couldn't get excited about the mission and all I did was felt like I was selling the products, maybe that would not work for me. But it could work for you. I'm not passionate about beauty products, but some people are. Some people can get very passionate about them. And as long as you can be passionate about what you're doing, you can practically do anything. So that really, my message is, don't listen to what's going on out here in the circle of concern. Listen to what's going here, which is your circle of influence. Don't worry about the Tupperware stock price, because the Tupperware for me is now. The Tupperware for you could be now. You could join, you could get involved in all the courses, in all the personal development that is available at Tupperware Les Diamants. And you would find that whether Tupperware closes its doors next month, in 5 years, in 50 years, you will be able to get out of Tupperware what you put into it in the moment. So thank you everybody for listening to me. I really enjoyed doing this because I am passionate about Tupperware, and I really would love, love, love to give you an opportunity to join. And at the moment, we do actually have 2 opportunities for you to join. You can join with our basic kit or our deluxe kit. No matter that you join and Tupperware closes its doors tomorrow, you are still going to have a great discount on your starter kit. So don't delay. Don't worry about things you cannot influence. Stay in that circle of influence of yourself and get the most that you can out of your opportunity to join Tupperware. So thank you so much, everyone, and I will talk to you again soon.